Well, welcome back. We're going to be doing our analysis of the St. Tropez in the Misner on the Green development in Boca Raton, Florida. You wanted to start with environmental performance?
Yeah, I mean, typically with a lot of the projects that we've seen in Miami and Florida, there's not any information on the website about environmental features, and we don't know if actually they're just not on the website and they are included, but we can't score at the point because we don't have any information, so that's going to get a 0.
Exactly. And then talking about location?
Well, it got a walk score of 78 out of 100, and
Exactly.
When we look at the Google map, the air photo,
You can see why.
Yeah.
It's sitting right on the, sort of on a major, not a major road, but on a road that connects right adjacent to the downtown
Boca Raton. Yeah, so it's actually quite a nice site. On one side, it's golf course, and then on the other side, it's very urban. So from a location point of view, it's really good.
Exactly. So to talk about siting, we can look at this, but I think it's also instructive to just actually look at the site plan itself. And just before we actually get to the siting issue, isn't it interesting that the developer has chosen to render all of the surrounding as green.
Park space, which I don't understand, because I would think part of the selling feature of this project would be the fact that it's located in an urban area.
That's right.
And then it's also backing onto the golf course, but from what you can see here, it looks like it's completely surrounded by green space, and that's just not the condition of it.
No, so I mean, perhaps what it's doing, these are obviously better units because they're looking out onto the green space, and these are looking out into a more urban condition.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't know that from looking at the site plan. So it's a little misleading, and it's obviously why you want to be spending a bit more time looking at all of these things, particularly if it was something that you were thinking about purchasing. So what do you think about the siting?
Well, I think you've identified the most important part. I think that if you're on these edges, I think the siting is actually pretty good because, one, you've got a streetscape, which is interesting. The other, you've got a parkscape, which is interesting. Right. The problem is these units in the middle. I think they're going to be car-dominated. There's nothing but lanes of traffic and garage doors, and then the units all face each other, which I don't think is a very good condition.
No.
So I think it really depends on where you are within the project itself.
Right. So do we not give it the points?
I say no.
No.
Because the bulk of it is right in the center of the development.
I agree. All right, so then let's look at organization. I've got all three plans here, then we'll look at a slightly expanded version of it in a minute. We got garage and an entry on the way up, dining and living, kitchen in the middle, and then 2 bedrooms on the end.
I think that's a typical way that these townhomes are organized, and I think it's good.
I think it is.
I have issues with some of the other stuff, but I think on an organizational level, I think we should
points
give it the points. Yeah,
points for that. Okay, so now looking at entry. It's
pretty
bad.
It is really bad. It's, again, we don't have enough space because the garage takes up 75% of the main floor. We've got doors from the garage door to the entry. It's basically a landing at the bottom of the stairs. Not good.
No, it's just it's a slightly expanded landing, and there's no place to do anything there except start to go upstairs. So
0.
I don't think it gets that.
Yeah.
Indoor living?
I think the indoor living is okay. I think we should score at the point. I mean, I would have preferred maybe if there was a little bit more relationship to the outdoors. It's just a sliding door. It's kind of banal, but I think.
But it's well proportioned.
It is well proportioned. You could fit furniture, so we should score at the point.
It's fine. What about outdoor living?
The balcony is nice. I think that it's a good size, and I think the sliding doors make it very useful.
Yeah.
So I say good.
I agree with you. So we've got two good points on that. The kitchen?
I hate it. I don't like those kitchens that are the U with the fridge outside of the U because the fridge is going to sit there like a block.
You mean this one
right here? It feels like the fridge is outside of the zone of the kitchen in that. And I also think that it's really, really tight.
I was going to say, I think it's very tight right there.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the width of the townhouse with a stair, a circulation zone, and then you're trying to get that kitchen in.
And I think another really important thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to add that eating counter on the corner. You can see the dotted line, and what that means is they're trying to leave space for stools, but in proportion, it's actually not wide enough.
No.
And the stools are going to be an impediment, I think, to other furniture layouts, so I don't think it's very good.
No, I would agree with that. What about dining?
Well, I think the dining space is actually really good.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a really well-proportioned space, and I kind of like the long, narrow shape of it and the relationship to the window. And
it's an effective way of dealing with the circulation around the stair. It's maybe getting a little narrow at 8 feet 8 inches, but I think that's all right. Bedrooms?
I think the bedrooms are fine.
Yeah.
They're both, they're not trying to jam 2 into one end, which we see all the time.
That's right.
They're
reasonable closets.
Yep.
I'm curious about how that closet works.
It's in the other unit somehow.
Bathrooms?
I think the bathrooms are fine.
Exactly.
They're reasonable. I mean, there's there's two. It's like, you know, it's. I think it's fine.
Yep. And then laundry is up here.
Yeah, the laundry's good.
I agree. And the study, there is
There
a
is no
study,
study,
but there
so you
shouldn't
got the
be
point.
for this side. And the parking,
Well, the parking is interesting because it is very tight at the garage door. We don't have our clearances. That is
No.
no way that that's 2 feet. So are they thinking that you're going to drive in and get out of your car in the storage area? I think I'm going to call no on the parking.
right. So what you're talking about is the clearance on the sides because there just isn't enough width.
There just isn't, and they've kind of made that little area into the stair to allow your door to get open, but it's really tight.
I agree. So that gives it a score of 12 out of 20, which is just 1 point shy of the minimum design threshold. So it's got some significant problems. Of course, the proviso on that is we didn't give the points, 2 points for citing because we're assuming because it would be in the middle. If it was on the outside, then it would be getting 14 and it would have a different issue. And perhaps if it had different environmental performance features that we're not talking about, maybe then it would also be a little bit higher. Because it's not a terribly bad unit. The inside is pretty good.
No, but the siding is a big issue.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'd like to remind everybody also about the What's Wrong with This House book, which is available for sale on the right-hand side of our website. You can go to the online store and order a copy of the book that John and I wrote last year.
You're shameless.
I am shameless.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.